What's up, gang? Welcome to another special IG Live. In a few moments, I will be speaking to Jose Cruz, aka Mozo. He's a mental health advocate, motivational speaker, podcaster. You've probably seen him like I have on social media, on Instagram, all over, holding a sign on the Brooklyn Bridge. These days, he's been doing it in different cities. But he just always is giving a good message, right? Like when I first saw it, I thought, I guess I'm cynical, jaded, but when I first saw it, I thought it was cheesy, but he's consistent and he's always, especially when you're having a rough day, a rough week, a rough month, you come across one of Mozo's videos and it really speaks to you and you appreciate with everything that's out on social media these days, all the negativity and stunning and trying to make people one up each other. He's just spreading love. So I wanted to bring him on and get to know him because again, that's the theme of these IG lives. Get I think that uh, Latino Rebels audience will enjoy this conversation. Let's see if I can get him in here.
Yo,
What's up, bro? Mozo.
what's
Good to
going
meet you,
on,
man.
man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling okay. The day's been a little bumpy with the sky and the air quality here in New York City has been kind of rough. Going outside, so my asthma's been a little acting up, but I'm all right.
Yeah, tell me what's going on about that. Like, I'm in Vegas, so we have terrible air quality, one of the worst air qualities in the United States. But Futuro's based in New York, and we had a staff meeting today. Everybody's telling me about the air quality, and I've seen some memes already. People making
Yeah,
fun of the air quality in New York.
yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I guess there was forest fires going on in Canada, and all that from Canada has come down. Just the whole Northeast has been from the fires, and we have like the worst air quality right now in the world. We rank number one.
That's wild. Wait, you kind of froze. I mean, but that's wild. I mean, it's already a city, and you know, New York. Nobody was talking about New York being good air quality, like uh, like being out in the woods or anything. It's a city, so I can't imagine poor, air quality on a bad day in New York. What that must be like. Um,
My
Sorry,
bad,
you're
yeah.
kind of breaking up. Don't worry about it. It's New York. Every time I do something with somebody in New York, they always have internet troubles, man. Air quality, internet.
I don't know. Usually my internet's good. I don't know what's going on right now. Hold on. Oh,
I was just introducing you to everybody. I was telling everybody that I started seeing your videos, and you're always super positive. Um, and at first I thought, maybe, like I said, I'm cynical, maybe. And we'll talk about this, about how Latino men, especially the men in general, have a problem with sensitivity, vulnerability. And so here's this guy who looks like me, and he's being vulnerable. He's being, hey, take care of your mental health. And I was like, the cynic in me was like, man, who's this dude? Like, don't tell me to watch over my mental health. But you just do it consistently, and you, like I said, like on a bad day, bad week, bad month, coming across one of your videos and one of your posts, your reminders, right? Because you're always telling people, remind people to take care of themselves, right?
right.
And it seems, you would think that that's obvious, but we constantly forget to take care of ourselves because of the culture, because of the grind. I just had a friend who came back from Europe, and whenever you go overseas, you go to Latin America, life is completely different outside the United States. Here it's go, go,
Mhm.
go, less community, less neighborliness. But first introduce yourself to everybody, and we'll get chatting.
Of course. First off, thank you for all that. I think that um, it's so important for that same reason. I feel like I was at a point where when I always see stuff like that, like someone like that looks like me doing something like that, I'd be like, huh, I don't need that. Like I'm good type vibes. But let me just introduce myself real quick. My name is Jose Cruz, better known as Mozo. I'm cool with Jose or Mozo, but I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm based out of New York City. My parents, Dominican Republic, came here at a young age, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm Dominicano de pura cepa, you heard. And and you know, like I'm just really trying to make the world a better place with my messages and just trying to just inspire people to find uh not to be happy because that, but just to find a way to keep themselves going, but do it in a way where it's healthy, where you're not hurting yourself or overworking yourself or burning yourself out. Because I think that, like you said, we live in a society now where it's like go, 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 go. And I also realized that like for a short moment of time with COVID, with the pandemic, it was a lot of more like it was more empathy going on as far as like, oh, you know, you could stay at home, oh, your mental health. But we're kind of like with time now, we're getting away from that, and people are going back to the go, 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 go type mentality. But you know, that's pretty much what I do. I'm just out here trying to make the world a better place, and I feel like I can do that by inspiring other people to do the same thing.
No, I mean, I think you are making the world a better place because, you know, there are a lot of voices talking about mental health. Few are Latino, right? And few are Latino men. And then let's be real. I mean, you look like you're from the culture. You got the cap. You got, you know, you got everything. You know, you got the vibe of the culture. Like if I'm being real, if I'm listening to a Latino man who sounds like he's from, you know, uppity up. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, it's good for you to take care of your mental health because you're not from the same place that I'm from, right? But
Right.
you seem like you're from the culture, right? You're from us, and
Yeah.
so I mean, that's huge because, like I said, I mean, we can get right into it. Like, I just saw you were posting, you posted in January, you posted recently again that what was it, 85? How many men kill themselves a week?
It's 85 men a week.
And
Um,
75% of suicides are men.
right. 75% suicides are men, and people don't know that. You know, like
Right.
because when it happens, unless it's like a celebrity or someone of, you know, like people know, public figure, whatever the case may be, that's when it gets announced in the news. But like this is something that's going on that that needs help. You know what I'm saying? Like it it in itself, suicide in itself is, you know, is an issue. But like the fact that it's 75% of us men doing it, and there's not enough conversation surrounding it or about it, because for that reason, it's like nobody wants to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But like, um, I, I always post those things to remind people. You know, like some of us are here are going through things. We're not machines. We're not robots. We're not, you know, we're strong. It doesn't mean we're not, but it doesn't mean we can't go through things that we're not feeling down or feeling, you know, sad just because we're strong. So it's always things that I post for a reminder for people, you know, because like I said, and this is not just men that feel that way. Women feel that. Everybody feels that way about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like a lot of people say, oh, you know, like when they talk about like toxic masculinity and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, how many men were raised by their mothers and still can be have all these toxic behaviors, you know, because let's say the mom was like, no, you're not supposed to wash dishes. Men aren't supposed to wash dishes, or you're crying. Men aren't supposed to cry. Why stop crying? You're not supposed to cry. You know what I'm saying? So it goes all the way around. It's not just men doing it. It's not just men influencing men. It's just society in general. You know what I mean?
I was just going to bring that. I mean, that's a great point. Like a lot of these toxic men, especially, you know, in Latino culture. I'm from a single parent home, and yeah, I mean, we talk about machismo, but nobody talks about Marianismo, which is like the feminine version of that, which is like women teaching other women and teaching men about women staying in their place and what a man's supposed to be and a man's supposed to be. I mean, it's it's tough being a man, especially a Latino man, especially a black Latino man in America, right? And you're not allowed to say that, right? It's because we're men and we're privileged, but like we're getting so many different messages of what a man's supposed to be. Like it's wild that a man can't cry. I mean, there's the movement of like, yeah, it's okay to cry, right? But it isn't widespread, right?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
not widespread. Like the when girls say what kind of guy they want. I mean, this is the song right now, right? Every good girl needs a little thug, right? And what they mean is a guy who's hard, who
Right,
doesn't cry, who
right,
has a gun, who has a blah blah blah, right? That guy, he's
right,
not crying. He's not talking about
right.
his mental health.
hmm Right, like, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it comes from all over it's a society in general, you know what I know. And I like sometimes when I say like it's tough being a man, I do get the like, come on, bro,
You
like
can't
your
say
privilege,
that.
you're a man, da da da. But like, like just because I say that doesn't mean that I'm taking away from anybody else, or it means that anybody else is going through something. Like I'm not trying to lessen what somebody else is going through. What I'm saying is that we go through things as well, like too. We're included in that. We go through stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our struggles. They may be different from your struggles or your struggles, but we also have struggles as well. And like I think that's what happens sometimes. And someone I've always to say, when I say things like that, people take it like I'm trying to take something away from somebody else's struggle or somebody else's, no, I'm not. I'm just saying that we also go through things too. You know what I mean? Like expectations, uh, being providers, things like that we have in our heads. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as we try to like break that cycle of that mentality of being like we need to be this, we need to be that, we need to be this, we need to be that. It's still there. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't go away that easily. So you still feel that pressure. You still feel the way you feel about it. And I'm just trying to tell people that we go through stuff too, man.
Yeah, I mean, in my marriage, my wife makes substantially more than me, even now, and she's the breadwinner, and like I'm woke, she's woke, but
Right,
like I mean, we still deal with that dynamic. We still deal because it's part of how you were raised. It's in the culture. It's all meaning when I say it's in the culture, it's like the air and air quality in New York right now. It's in the air, right? Like
right,
you
right.
could be woke and you breathe it in and it affects you. And like it's I know the tough, and the other thing is that I wanted to say is like, yeah, the toughest men I know personally, I'm not gonna obviously no names, but the toughest men I know personally in my personal life, they're the toughest men. They're dealing with depression, right? Quietly.
hmm
They're not, and they don't tell their significant other, and because the fear is that if they would say, hey babe, I'm feeling depressed, like first of all, I don't even know if they know how to say that, right? They don't know how to like just mouth those words. But two,
Right,
the fear is, and it's they have a legitimate fear that their partner's going to be like, you're depressed, like what are you depressed about, like blah blah blah,
right, right.
like it's like you said, men are not supposed, like men don't have feelings.
Yeah, that I think a lot of times we just don't know how to identify those feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like like there's people that are depressed. There's men out there that are depressed, don't even know that they're depressed because they're just so used to going through the motions of what they're going through and finding their ways to cope, which may be sometimes negative ways, like maybe alcohol or drugs or just different ways of coping, right? Those negative ways. But like some men don't even realize they're going through that. Like they are depressed because it becomes so normal to them, like the grind or whatever that they're going through or that they're doing. It becomes so normal to them. They don't even wouldn't know how to express that. So them to be like, I'm not depressed, which is what ends up happening. Is a lot of men, it's like the other side of men that like that they be like, bro, why are you talking about that, bro? Like we're men, you know what I'm saying? Like da 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 da. That's because they don't know how to even identify those feelings because no one ever spoke to us about having those feelings or feeling that way. So if you don't know what your feeling is, then you won't know how to express it or say how you're feeling or identify what it is that you're feeling because to you it's a feeling that you just not supposed to have. Like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not existent to you.
Yeah, and the escapism part, like you're saying, like the day going to the day to day, like you know, as men, how many men are gamers? I was an ex gamer, right? Or drinking a lot, going
hmm
to the bar. Hey, every you look for a reason to drink every day, and you think, oh, because I like to have fun, but you really need to escape on the daily. You need to escape, and you need either to play video games or you need to drink or you need to smoke or you need something to you like Chief Keef says, I hate being sober, right? Like
Right,
that's some
right.
real shit. Like you hate being just not having any being by yourself alone. So what, I mean, how did you get into this? How did you get into mental health advocacy?
Well, for me, it really started during the pandemic. I feel that it gave me a lot of time to think about myself and just think about, like, I saw what my friends were going through and people around me were going through during the pandemic, not being able to go outside, pretty much just sitting with yourself, sitting in your feelings. And, like, I think mental health, the issue of the issues of mental health really came out to light really during the pandemic, like because people saw like now there was nothing to distract you. Now there's nothing to really talk about. No, like there was nothing that was in the way of those conversations. So people either were feeling what they were feeling and didn't know what it was and had to identify it and do that work, or people just started talking about it more. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about mental health. And I just felt like, I've always been the kind of person, even as a kid, like I was somebody who was always trying to help somebody out. I was that kid that I saw the old lady carrying the bag and she needed help. I would be the one to run over and help her out. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've always had that kind of heart. Shout out to my mom because she kind of like she's that way as well. But I think that as you grow, especially as a man, as a Black Latino man, especially, you feel like you kind of have to hide and and those feelings because you have to be hard, right? Like you can't show that because someone's gonna take advantage of you, or you feel like someone's not gonna, like someone's just not gonna respect you because you have these feelings or because you have a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sad to say, but like for most of my like after age 6, maybe 7, like I feel like my good heart I had to put in my pocket and just stuff it in there and not take it out until like recent, like until maybe a few years ago, where like it's opening up again because I felt like I had to wear this mask to kind of survive, or wear this mask to just be able to go into the locker room and play some basketball or play. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't have that. I couldn't do both. I couldn't have a good heart and also be this, just be myself. So for me, I felt like I had that responsibility. Like I noticed it, I realized it, and I learned that about myself. So I said, why? I'm sure there's other people just like me who have these feelings or have gone through the same things that I've gone through. So why not? Why be selfish and hold that in instead of having these, finding a way to open up the conversation and just open up the floor to people, or just share information with people about why it's important, to just be yourself, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like just be you, and it's okay to be you, and it's okay sometimes to have our flaws. Sometimes it's okay to have our downfalls, and I think that's really where it started for me. And after that, just evolved. I was a podcaster for a while. I was podcasting and having conversations. That was my way of building community, which is great for me as well because I was able to meet a lot of people while doing that. And then I realized, after the world started opening up again, I started just going out, and as as I'm growing, people are inviting me to speak to, go to different schools. I do my thing on the Brooklyn Bridge, of course, to spread love and spread mental health awareness, but like, I do this because of who I am and where I come from. And, I do wear my hat wherever I go. I do stick to my culture because I don't want to switch up and change. I want to show these kids that, look, you could look like me. You could have this hat, you could have this hoodie, and you could still have a heart. You know what I'm saying? You could still be yourself. And especially, our Black and brown kids, they need that. They need to see someone that looks like them that's doing this kind of work.
No, for sure, I believe that. And the be yourself, do you. I mean, it's very popular to say, but we have to remind people like that takes work, right? Because first you have to find out who you are, right? I mean, so many people are. I mean, you probably know just like I do. So many people who are plugged into the culture that they don't like anything that the culture doesn't tell them to like, right? They don't buy anything that the culture doesn't tell them to buy. They don't watch anything. They don't listen to anything that the culture is telling them to buy. They don't know. There's no identity separate from the culture, from society. So first you have to separate yourself a bit, sit with yourself a bit, find out who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, what fulfills you, what doesn't. And then have the courage and the commitment and the tenacity to be yourself, to practice. You have to practice being yourself, which is wild. When did you get the idea for the signs?
Well, for me, the idea with the signs, I was inspired. I see people holding signs in different places, but I never saw someone who looked like me holding that kind of sign. I have yet to come across, I'm sure there is, but I have yet to come across somebody who looked like me, who is a Black Dominican holding up a sign with positivity and mental health awareness on it. You know what I'm saying? So
For
when
real,
I saw that, I was,
that's the thing that stopped me on your account when I first passed it. I'm like, because you see stuff like that all the time around the world, but nobody like you, right? Nobody like us.
right, exactly. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna break so many stereotypes just by doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure when people see me in the street here in Brooklyn, New York, on the Brooklyn Bridge holding that sign, until people read that sign, you can have ideas of what they think that sign may say.
They probably think you're asking for change or something, right?
Right? That's what I'm saying, right? Because who's this guy wearing a hat, chilling? I'm dressed very just myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm out here. I'm holding up my sign, and until people look at it, people look at me, they look at the sign, and when they look at the sign, it's like they read it, and again, it's also to show people like we do great things. You know what I'm saying? Like we are out here, we're out here trying to spread love. You know what I'm saying? Like because a lot of times they like to like there's good and bad in everybody, and you know, and from people that come from all different places. But they like to categorize and put us in this box, you know, like if someone that looks like us acts this way, right? Or someone that looks like us is gonna do this to us or do that. So I just feel like it was a great way of not just spreading the message, but also like representing for us. You know what I'm saying? Like representing for us and show people that look what we're capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure it's helped so many other people seeing someone that looks like them have have these conversations, which is the
It's really important.
which is the goal for me. It's just like this is the it's even if it's like if someone sees me holding up that sign, right, or sees a message on my page and they're hanging out with their boys in their living room in their sala, right, over the weekend, and one of them asks him, "Yo, bro, how you feeling?" To me, that's it. That's right there. You know what I'm saying? Because that you don't know what that come out of that. Now they're having a conversation. They can talk about basketball, their sports, the girls, whatever's going on. But it's okay to sit down and have a little conversation on a Saturday in the sala with your boys. You know what I'm saying? Yo, how we feeling though? Like, we feeling all right? How was your week? You know, questions like that. And sometimes we don't ask ourselves those kind of questions. You know what I'm saying? We just go straight to the to whatever it is that we want to talk about. We don't have those deep conversations with each other because we feel like it's like it's a sign of like weakness or something. You know?
That's real. I mean, I probably have like, there's probably only two guys in my life that I can do that with, right? Like my wife's cousin and my brother. And even then, you know, we're enlightened and we're close, but it's uncomfortable because it's like you have to practice being in that vulnerable space. But like, yeah, to go back to what you said about, you know, people like thinking like people who like that look like you look like us or a certain way. When I said before about the culture, that you got to remember the culture is manufactured. Like, I mean, I don't get too much into conspiracy, but you know, the record labels, the record music executives choose a certain kind of music that they want to put out, right? There's you know, Mos Def talks about this and Talib Kweli talk about this, that the music industry wants to play certain kinds of music to present Black and Latino men especially, but women too, in a
Mm-hmm.
certain light, and in movies and TV and Hollywood. And so when I said that people are just hooked into the culture, they're not hooked into what everybody else is doing. They're hooked into what the powers that be, the image that they want to put out. And they're buying into that image and saying, I'm going to, you know, keeping up with the Kardashians. It's right there. They're saying,
Mm-hmm.
keep up with
Right,
me, right?
right.
Like I always tell people, like, you know, Kardashians are super influential. Like people are like, oh no, they're not influencing anybody. I'm like, the name's keeping up with the Kardashians. It's a challenge. It is the first social media challenge. Keep up with the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
And like you hear how many girls now talk like a Kardashian with the what is it called, frog
Right.
throat, right? Uh, and but no, that's what it's called, and it's like it's a problem now because like now there's like professional women who have advanced degrees and they're talking like this because they watch too
Right.
much Kardashians, right? But anyways, what was my mind bumps around too much. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, what was the last thing you were saying about how? Oh, and the other thing is that the Brooklyn Bridge, for people who don't know, is, you know, the number one spot for suicides. It's like an urban legend. It's probably true, right? It's the
Right.
number one spot for suicides in New York. So have you? I mean, there's got to be people who were going to the Brooklyn Bridge to like unlife themselves, right?
Right.
Saw your sign and you changed their mind, man.
Yeah, like there has been a couple, you know, there was a man that came up to me when I first started going to the Brooklyn Bridge, and like he was staring at me for a while, like just looking at the sign, right? And then he came up to me and he started crying and just hugging me, right? And he's like, I've crossed this bridge so many times with such negative thoughts. You know, like like I guess, you know, like some people cross the bridge to go to commute to work, to go to school, you know, like some people actually cross that bridge, you know, especially when the weather's nice out, they just go, it's a nice walk, you know, to get from Brooklyn to Manhattan. So, you know, like we both started crying at that point, you know what I'm saying? Because what like just his feeling, his energy and his emotions and how he was feeling, like you could tell it was so genuine, and that he felt like he needed to see that. He's like, I needed to see that. You know, like this is something that I needed to see. And he's like, I'm so happy that he's like, I'm so happy that I met you. I'm so happy that you're here. This is a man that you know, I'm like, this is our first interaction ever, you know what I'm saying? And this is what he's telling me, you know? And I'm so grateful for him. I met him on Instagram and we still talk on Instagram, and he's okay with me sharing this story, which is why this is always my number one story that I tell people. And I'm so grateful that I met him and I came across him. I tell him this all the time because like when he did that, it showed me how powerful this could be. It showed me the impact that I could have by doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like it could literally save somebody's life. You know what I mean? So like, um,
And at the very least,
the
you're making a lot of people's day every day.
Right, right. Because it's a lot of people that cross that Brooklyn Bridge, people from all over the world. I've also been able to connect with so many people from all over the world just on Brooklyn Bridge. And also people that also live here in Brooklyn or from New York City. Like I've been able to really connect with a lot of people, and I think that I'm happy that people are able to take that message with them when they see it. You know what I'm saying? Like some people take a picture with it. Some people take a picture of it and just take it with them, and they're like, "This time I'm gonna send this to all my friends." Like there was this like older lady. She was like from Atlanta or something. And she was like, "Oh my God, let me take a picture." And she sent it all that. Like I don't care about you posting it on. Like thank you for sharing it on Instagram and tagging me and all that. But like the real thing that I love is when somebody just send a blast to all your friends after you're seeing this, and your friends are gonna open up that message and just smile just by seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a message where you don't know you're gonna get. You don't know you're gonna get it. Where you and you're getting it from a friend or a loved one. It's gonna make your heart happy. You know what I'm saying? So like, you never know who needs to hear a message or see a message like that.
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's people think that with whatever it is, maybe what we're seeing, what we're hearing, we think like the world's getting meaner and meaner, colder and colder. Nobody cares. And to see you standing out on that bridge, which I know you got to slot out time out of your day to go do that, right? That's
Yeah.
effort, right? And again, it's effort, spreading love. What's the tour called?
It's the World Needs Love tour.
The World Need Love tour. Yeah, exactly. And it's encouraging to know that there's people who are actively, like that poet said, raging against the dying of the light, right? Raging against the dying of love and humanity and brotherly and sisterly love with one another is really special. And now you're getting, like proper attention. Like I saw you were on news Univision and then the local news in New York. I mean, what was that like?
I mean, it was great, but like I also told them like I was like the I I'm like, I want to make sure that this reaches people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I'm gonna do this, it's not gonna be just like I want to make sure that it's on it's somewhere on a platform, like it's all over, so that people can see this message. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not even about me; it's about the message and people talking about this. This is what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when they reached out to me, I was super happy about it. But it was also something where I was like, what is this gonna look like? It wasn't like yes, 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 I want to be on the news. Da, da, da. It was, like what exactly are we gonna be doing? What are you gonna ask me? What are we gonna be talking about? What is the conversation gonna be like? Are you guys gonna give me some resources to the people as well? And they did that. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. And I appreciated they did that because like it's like I can understand when people could be like, this could come across as attention seeking or as like, trying to get attention for doing something, but it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the Dominican newspaper also did a report on me, right? And their headline is, the Dominican in New York goes viral, blah, 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 blah. Understand? When I was being interviewed, I was like, a mí no me importa que yo fui viral, que fue viral. A mí no me importa de eso. Like, I don't care about going viral. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm happy went viral because that means it reaches more people. But it's not about
Right.
just reaching; it's about the impact. I want it to have. I want people not just to see it. I want people to see it and be impacted by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we all see stuff when you think about it, right? It's easy to get a view. We can all scroll up, and that's a view. That's a view. That's a view. That's a view. Now, when you stop, you you listen. You say, "Whoa!" You go back. You go now. You go send it to your boy. Yo, look what this dude's talking about right here. Boom. That to me is a view. That to me is a viral view. That to me is what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not about just again. You can get a million views on just people just scrolling up on your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's not what it's about. But for me, I'm super proud not just of myself, but of my just everybody who has supported me throughout this journey. And there's a lot of people there's a lot of day ones that's here on Instagram too that have been supporting me since day one. my family, everybody from day one. My cousins in DR are like my biggest supporters, which is crazy to me because they're all the way over there. So when they saw me over there, it was like, like, cause it's funny because they support all of my English content they don't even understand, but they still share it. You know what I'm saying? Like they still show it love. So when it was in Spanish, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy. But I'm just happy that it reached, especially Dominican Republic, where I have so much, so many roots, over there, my family and everything like that. And I hope, I'll be able to connect with a lot of people, and I hope to actually go over there and speak to some of the youth in the Dominican Republic about mental health, or to, men as well about mental health, and have those conversations in Spanish with them. So I'm just super happy that the message is being spread out to bigger platforms and just bigger places.
I mean, that's good that you're getting, on a personal note, that's good that you're getting that love from your family and friends, because on a personal note, and I'm, this is me calling out my friends and family. Like some of the people, in my immediate circle, that have never supported me on social media or anything, right? And it's so important to encourage somebody you see trying to like have a positive impact in the world. Somebody who's trying to do something with their life in a it's not like I'm out here trapping and putting it on Instagram, right? I mean, I'm trying to, do something good, and they don't, I mean, what is that? I mean, I think that's unhappiness in them. I know them personally, so I know that they're unhappy with themselves and their lives. And so when you're unhappy with yourself, it's so te cuesta to, pat somebody else on the back, right?
It's hard to clap for somebody else when you can't clap for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't clap for yourself, then how you clap for anybody else? How can I clap for you if I can't clap for myself? I can't say, yo, Jose, you did a good job, bro. Mozo, you did your thing. How am I gonna say, Hector, you're doing? I can't. There's no way, bro. There's no way it's gonna happen. That's what's happening a lot. Is that people aren't happy with themselves because they haven't found themselves and they haven't done the work on themselves, that they're unable to then give that out to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you asked me about how everything started, for me, it started with me finding myself and me realizing who I truly am and what I can do. And after that, I'm still on this journey. I'm still healing. I'm still going through stuff. I'm still that person. But like, I understood what I'm going through and what I've gone through. So I feel like I'm able now to share it to other people so they can do it as well. And that's what happens when you find yourself, like I said, like you said, when people can't clap for other people, it's just simply because they can't clap for themselves. And it's sad because sometimes it's the people that are closest to you. It could be your family, your closest friends, the people that have known you the longest, and then you have people from across the world that show you so much love and support. People you haven't even met, people that you hope to meet one day. You know what I'm saying? There's people like that in Germany. I'm like, I can't wait to go to Germany one day to meet you, because the way that you love and support me, it's like I need to give you a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to squeeze you and give you a hug. You know what I mean? So like, at the end of the day, my mentality when it comes to that is, I understand that some people are gonna support you, some people are not gonna support you, and I choose to just look at the people that support me. And it's the same thing on the bridge when I hold up my sign. It's people, how many people? There's millions of people that walk by me and don't say anything. There's millions of people that just read my sign and sometimes go, or just roll their eyes or give me a look. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of people that do that. But if I were to focus on that, then I wouldn't go back to the bridge, because that would be my focus. Is like, why? You know what I'm saying? My focus is on the people that I can impact and the people that care for what I'm doing. The people that somebody might just walk by, look at it, not say nothing, but they may also take in the message. You know what I'm saying? Or they may not take it in today. Maybe one day they'll have it in their pocket and they'll be able to remember what they saw on the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm a strong believer in that. Even if you dismiss something, it's information coming at you. It's a memory that's going to stay with you. I mean, how often do you see somebody like you standing on the Brooklyn Bridge, with a message of love and peace and taking care of yourself? You're going to remember that. You said a lot of things. I mean, like the one thing, I mean, my 10 closest friends, I probably haven't met 7 of them, right? And they're from all over the world. And they're my closest friends because we talk regularly, more than I talk to my family. And they support everything I do online and everything that I personally and professionally. And that's so amazing that social media exists for that, And what was the other thing? The other thing, the finding yourself, right? Like you said, it's a journey, right? Like I found myself like, 100 times in the past, 2 years, right? You get to a place where you think, oh yeah, finally everything's clicking. I know who I am. I know what I want. You wait 2 weeks and that
Hmm.
changes, right? And like that's why I like that idea of like, you're not being but becoming, right? You're constantly becoming somebody until the day you die, right?
Right, right.
And then on your deathbed you can look back and say, okay, that's who I was, I guess, right?
Right.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
that's exactly what it is. Like I don't mean to cut you off, but like you just that's exactly what it is. Like this is a journey. And just because you're one way today doesn't mean you're gonna be the same way tomorrow even or in 2 years. Like if you would have asked me 5 years ago that Mozo would be on the Brooklyn Bridge holding up a sign spreading love and mental health awareness, I'd be like, you think I would do that, bro? Like you think I would do something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like just like the courage, I wouldn't have the courage to even do that. Like I would be like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like you said, it's something that at the end of the day, that's when you look back at your life and you say, that's who I was, and who you were is somebody who wore different hats and did different things, and just it was an evolution, it was a journey, it was everything. But we're not just one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not just one thing forever. So I just have to cut you off real quick because
No,
what you said like was really strong and powerful. You feel me?
no, for sure. I mean, and that's kind of, I read that that's kind of the problem with the social media age is that everybody's looking for a brand, trying to settle on their brand. And then, or, even people who aren't using social media like that, but, you're presenting yourself on social media and there's a danger that you're like, this is who I am. This is who I'm presenting myself as. And so I have to stick to this 5 years
Mm-hmm.
later, 10 years later, 15 years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in a healthy life, I think, is change, right? If the world is constantly changing, then we as human beings have to allow ourselves to change and to really not only allow ourselves to change, but challenge ourselves to change because changing is growing, right?
Right. You know, as that's like you said, everyone's trying to find a brand. We're living in this influencer era, right? And like I tell people, I'm like, do not call me an influencer. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like if I see that like in the introduction, like do not call me an influencer because I'm not an influencer. I consider myself an impactor. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm somebody who's trying to make an impact. And yeah, you could say that's part of influence, but it's very different. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just trying, like I said, I'm not just trying to get people to see my stuff and that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? What I'm doing, it's just way deeper than that. And like people have reached out to me about, talking to me about my brand or talking to me about, oh, I should get this or I should get that or I should get this. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this straight up. At the end of the day, I'm on this journey and I'm learning as I go. I'm seeing what for me impacts people the most. What is it that for me has also helps me as well? Because I'm also a person. I'm not a machine. I'm not a brand. You know what I'm saying? So like if so I don't I'm just not in the business of like thinking, okay, I'm gonna be this brand and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and this is what I'm gonna be, put myself in this little box and now you just that's who I am, that's what I am. No, that's not, because at the end of the day, like you just said a few minutes ago, we don't stay the same. You know what I mean? And then now you gotta stay in that box, even though you're trying. It's like you're ready to go to this next phase and next step in your life, but since you're stuck in this box that you feel like you have to be, I, I I'm just not, like I'm just not like that. So people, have hit me up about stuff like that, about my brand and doing stuff like that. At the end of the day, everything that I'm doing, to be honest with you, is from my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to the Brooklyn Bridge, it comes from my heart. When I do something, whatever it is, it comes straight from my heart. Like I'm not that big of a planner when it comes to stuff like that. I've become better at when it comes to planning my life. But like a lot of the stuff that I do, a lot of stuff that comes to my mind is in my notebook. I take notes of what I want to do and things that I want to, when I think about of ideas, but it comes straight from my heart. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't want it to be I'm a brand and I'm manufacturing these things because I want to do this or because I want to sell that or because you know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that's in my brain at all. And that's what social media has become. Unfortunately, that like back to what you said, that's what social media has become. It's become a thing, and I get it because some people that's their job, that's their money flow, that's the way they make their money. But I feel like when it comes to something like this, where you're talking about mental health and you're talking about something like this, it can't be about the money. That can't be the root of it. You know what I'm saying? That can't be the root of every like if you reach out to me and I feel like I get that kind of vibe from you, I can't work. There's no way I can work with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Or collaborate with something like that because at the end of the day, that's not the reason why I do it. There's people on the bridge that offer me money. There's people on the bridge that I tell them, listen, this is free love. This is free love I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't expect you to pay me. Now, if anybody out there listening wants to pay my flights to go to these different cities so I can do that, yes, that I'll accept. You know what I'm saying? That I'll accept. But as far as someone paying me for actually doing what I am doing, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone to give me, here's no, I'm not expecting that,
Do
man.
you have a Patreon or anything like that?
No, I don't. It's something that I looked into. But it's definitely something that
For
I'm
sure. I
working
mean,
on.
if you like you just sold it. You sold me, right? Like if you're saying, hey, this is a Patreon for me to fly to different cities and spread my message, and take the tour, make it a really world tour. Yeah, I'd sign up for that for real. And I'm sure a lot
Yeah.
of people would too. We've been talking for over half an hour now, and I could talk to you for all day. And I'm going to be in New York at the end of June, so maybe hopefully I can hook up with you. But before I ask you, because you're anybody who follows you knows that you're well known for giving people tips and reminders and pointing things out. I just the nerd in me wants to ask you, what is the for you? What is the meaning of life? What is the key to happiness?
It's something that I spoke about today, so I'm gonna talk about it again. For me, it's really embracing the struggles that you go through, like embracing them and understanding them. And I think
Yeah,
when you
you
embrace,
were saying that your struggles define you, right?
right, when you embrace your struggles, it just opens up the door not just to prepare you for the next struggles, because that's the thing about life. It's not just one struggle. You understand what I'm saying? It's always gonna be some no, like you can think about the person with the most money to the person with the least money. It's a different struggle every day or a different struggle every month. It's a different struggle. We don't just stick with the same struggle. But if you learn to face them and embrace them, like you will grow through these struggles and you will learn through these struggles, and they will make you stronger so that you're able to get through these struggles. When you think back to your life and think about, yeah, I'm going through something right now. But I overcame this that time and that the other time that I was going through. So I'm definitely gonna overcome this one. You know what I'm saying? Like it might be a little harder this time. I may have to do things a little different. But if I overcame those struggles, I can definitely overcome this one. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what we need to do. We need to embrace your struggle. Your struggles is part of your story. And I know sometimes people don't share this. When you see people when they're glamorous, when they've already made it to the top, or they made it, or whatever they've done, their accomplishments, you don't hear sometimes about the struggles and their story. But anybody that you find, like you find influential, anybody that you find, I'm sure if you Google them up and you look at their story, you will find the struggles. And those are just the struggles that they have told you. You don't know the other struggles that they don't even share with other people that they've gone through. Because we're all human and we all have struggles, no matter what it is. So my message to the world is embrace your struggles, because your struggles are beautiful and they will make you stronger. It's okay. It's part of life and it's part of being human. It's okay to struggle, but I promise you, if you embrace it, you will get through it.
Yeah, I mean, and so I completely agree, right? Go towards challenges, go towards difficulty, right? But then, then there's also, we also need to take care of ourselves. Like you say, take care of your energy, take care of your space, right? So where's the line between that?
Well, I feel like when you're able to embrace your struggle, it's part of it is understanding, why am I struggling right now? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why is this a struggle? Why is it a struggle? Like you have to, it's almost like you're analyzing the struggle when you embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mean, when I say embrace the struggle, I don't mean like just run through it straight and just move, because at that point you're just skipping over it. You're not embracing it. You're just skipping over it, and that means it's gonna come back again, or it's gonna get bigger. You know what I'm saying? So like I think part of embracing the struggle is also analyzing it and understanding your feelings and why you feel the way you feel about it. Like why is this a struggle to you? Like why is it considered a struggle? Why are you having a hard time with it? Why did it happen? What can I do next time to kind of prevent it from happening or avoid it from getting it like this? You know what I'm saying? Like that's all part of it. So when I tell people to embrace it, it don't mean fight through. It don't mean ignore your struggle or like find a way to like skip over it, because struggles don't go away until you face them or embrace them. You know what I'm saying? That I truly believe that. I feel like think about anything. Think about the smallest thing. Like if you have a garbage can, right, and it starts filling up, right, and I just start leaving it there, and I keep throwing my paper balls in there, poop, throwing my paper ball, Kobe, throwing them, poop, poop, poop. and I keep ignoring it, the paper ball is just gonna keep it's gonna keep getting messier and messier. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm avoiding cleaning it up, but it's still gonna get bigger and bigger. So when anything like whenever instead of me cleaning it up right away or me saying, why is this a mess right now? Like why are these paper balls here? Besides me shooting them, what's the mess? But I could go on forever,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's what I
hey,
want. That's
I could listen forever.
that's what I wanted to say about it. I was like, embracing your struggle is more than just that word embracing. It's also analyzing your struggles and asking yourself why. We don't ask ourselves why sometimes because we're afraid to look in the mirror and face what it is that we have done wrong or we could do better. We just try to just skip over and just fight through it, especially us as men. We don't look in the mirror and say, yo, what did I do wrong? Take accountability for your actions. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. I think that's part of embracing your struggle.
No, I mean that's a perfect place to stop. I mean, I was just gonna say that. Yeah. I mean, our emotions are, for me, like it's an information. Like if I feel jealous, if I feel angry, if I feel sad, it's not. I have to remind myself that it's not my entire everything that I'm feeling. It's just something in me is saying, it's giving me information about a certain situation or something, my relationship to something, right? And I don't have to act on it, right? I think when you allow your emotions, you have to be emotional. We are emotional creatures, right? And face your emotions, but you also have to. I mean, you tell me. Am I thinking wrong? Like, kind of have a bird's eye view of your emotions? Am I a sociopath for doing that?
No,
Like,
I,
if I'm sad or something, I'm just like, all right, I'm sad, but you have to ask yourself why you're feeling
yeah,
something, right? If I'm hungry, why am I hungry? Oh, I haven't eaten, right? If I'm sleepy,
right,
why am I sleepy? Oh, I haven't slept. You know what I mean?
right.
So like you have to certainly you have to be aware of your emotions, and you should be aware of your emotions all the time, but also don't let them control you. Or is that too stoic or whatever?
No, I think you cannot let your emotions control you. But I think that when you do that and like you can have a bird's eye. You can ask yourself why. Like that's a great example. When we're hungry, we ask them, why am I hungry? Well, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. That's why I'm hungry. So the same thing when we get upset at something or sad about something, ask yourself why it makes you sad. Like ask yourself why. Maybe right away you won't be able to answer it but if you do it enough, that's when you'll start getting in touch with your feelings more. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm sad because whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you'll be able to kind of get an answer or figure out why. Maybe get closer to why you feel the way you feel instead of just being like, well, I feel sad. Let me go get a drink, or I feel angry. Let me go punch the wall. Let me go fight. You know what I'm saying? Like the emotions that are normalized for us men is like anger, right? Like you're supposed to be like it's okay to be angry. It's okay to get into a bar fight. It's okay to get into a fight. Those aren't things
Not
that are
even
like
okay, like
it's encouraged,
encouraged.
right? It's like
Yeah.
yo, right? It's like that's what we're gonna do. So I think no, I think the way you worded it, I think was great, and the way you have to look, the way you look at it, I think is a great to look at it. I think that it's all different ways. Like the way I look at it may be similar to yours, but we're all different, so it's okay. Like there's not one way. That's another thing. There's not just one way of doing things, one way of looking at it, because we're all different. Like I can say what works for me, and hopefully from that, not that you try to do exactly what I do, but maybe you be like, let me see what works for me by maybe asking just myself that question. You ask yourself why you feel sad, you might go a different way. Or you might just start thinking about it, maybe even listen to some music, some songs to make you feel a certain way. I might go write about it. Why am I feeling this way? What happened today? How did my day go? I start journaling. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it all started with asking that question. Why am I sad? So like, there's no one way of doing that. And I don't like when people do that either. When like, this is what works. That's what works for you, buddy. It doesn't mean it works for everybody else.
That's wild. Yeah, for real. Especially in the social media age where everybody, I mean, it's probably in the book, self-help age, like everybody's looking for the recipe for everything, right? How to feel better about this, how to feel better about that, how to cook the perfect this, how to make it. Like everybody's different. Everybody's house is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's complete, like a fingerprint, like a snowflake. And so you got to like mix and match and mold and make your, do you as part of like that too, right? Like
Right.
make your own recipe for what makes you happy. Make your own, decorate your house the way you want to, not just how you saw it in a magazine. Like
Exactly. Right.
billions, right?
There's so many levels to it. And I tell people all the time, real quick. I tell people all the time, like, think about it. Like, for those who have siblings, you grew up with somebody in the same, possibly in the same household, raised by the same people, and you could be complete total opposites. So like, because at the end of the day, even though our environment influences us and our people around us, you're also a whole another human being with other feelings because we're all different. So there's not just one way of doing things. There's a zillion, the highest number of infinity ways of doing things. And as we go on in life, there'll be more and more ways of figuring out how to do things. But it's not just one way of doing things. There's no one way to like work on your mental health, or one way to get better at understanding your mental health. Like, because we're all different. So people have different ways of working through things.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I wish I was there chilling on that couch just talking to you, because I could talk to you all day, man. But let everybody know where they can find you. And again, I want to thank you for coming on, man.
Of course, bro. Well, you can find me here on Instagram at _the_real_Mozo. I'm also on TikTok at _the_real_Mozo. And you can find me on the Brooklyn Bridge once a week, spreading love and raising mental health awareness here on Instagram, of course. And for those that live in different places, I've gone to Charlotte, I've been to Miami, I've been to Philly with my son. I'm planning to go to different cities as well to do the same thing. It's just like time, scheduling, and everything, all that put together. I just things to figure out, but I hope to just connect with people and continue to spread love. And thank you so much for having me on your platform, bro. I appreciate it.
No, man, it's an honor, man. I feel lucky to be senior editor at Latino Rebels, because I get to just geek out with people that I see on social media that I want to meet and talk to and get to know. But yeah, man, keep up the important, good work, man. You're spreading love. You're spreading good vibes. You're reminding. I see your videos all the time, and I forget your messages. Because of culture, and like you said, going through the motions. But your videos are a constant reminder for me to. I like the tone of it, because it's so many. You're scrolling through videos, and everybody's like, excited. They talk so fast on their thing. I talk fast, but you have like
Me too.
calm.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, because like usually your videos are like calm and measured, and like it's always a good vibe, man. You're very,
Thank
very.
you.
I don't know why I feel like I want to say I'm proud of you, but like I think because you're from the culture, like it's good to see like one of us doing that, and keep doing it, man. It's super important. It's getting more and more important.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro, and I look forward to meeting you when you come in June, man. Hit me up in the city, man, so we could link up.
Hopefully,
Um,
hopefully that fucking air quality cleans up, man.
nah, it should be good by the weekend. I think they said by the weekend it should be all right. But hopefully by June. No, sorry, you said end of June, right?
End of June. June. I'll be there the weekend of June 24th.
Cool, yeah. By that weekend, we still having air problems, and we have a bigger issue going on.
Anyways, and let me know when you're out in Vegas, man. I'll show you a good time.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. Bless.
Talk to you later, bro. Peace.
All right, peace.